Next thing on the agenda is Chris Terry with the water plan.
Welcome, Chris.
Excuse me.
Chris is the gentleman we employed to do that contract. We got the grant to do a water plan study of all Lincoln County needs, and where we're going with the cost and those things. So,
And I got some maps. Taking this to are 8 maps. Got 8 maps in there. 2 snapshots of the entire county, which are included in that first sheet. Basically, it's a 24 by 36 version of that first sheet right there in front of you, as well as one for each PSD in the county, 6 PSDs from Logan all the way up to Lincoln. It's color coded. Green is what we got, yellow is what we're doing, and red is what we need. Need is, of course, subjective, and it's subjective to the directors of the respective PSDs. Basically, I sat down with every one of them and asked them, what do you need? Where do we need water? So, Mike Mostow told me we need water on Sugar Tree, Parster Creek, was Rose, Ivy, finished Coal River, things like that. In terms of Logan, we need water on Big Ugly. Branchland, we need 6 Mile and 9 Mile.
and we have some folks here in the audience that live on 4 Mile.
Yes.
In your review, did you look at your map? I know you're not real familiar maybe with all the creeks, but I think maybe we should address the 4 Mile since we've got some people that hear that.
Yeah, absolutely. 4 Mile's been drafted up. I worked with Bubby Abshire, and his name escapes me. He's basically the right-hand man to Bubby. And he's the field man, and he told me where we needed it out there. And I even have something to line up with. Triad Engineering was nice enough to loan me a cost estimate. I didn't make a copy of this, unfortunately, but I'll loan it to you. And this is bid prices that they submitted to Branchland for 4 Mile extensions, as well as just about everything that's on there. If you all want to look at that,
Would you,
want to.
this here, and there's a couple people right here in the audience that are concerned, would you look at them and see if they're included on that?
Absolutely, absolutely. I can answer which holler do y'all live on? Yes, yeah, it is included. If you go to the second group in there, it's Branchland Minikit PSD. And if you open that up, there's some cost projections, a little snapshot gives you some data on there. Explanation of the formulas used, things like that, just breakdown. We hit a page that looks like this. It's an overall snapshot of all the numbers. Doc, you were just one past it, I believe there. Kind of shows you what everything would cost and the percentage of growth that PSD would see.
What's your name?
And the cost is basically, in the case of Branchland, I believe it was $50 a foot. And Bubby just told me it seems to cost about $50 a foot. Now, I had a professional engineer explain to me that number is essentially voodoo. It's really driven by the price of your pipe, the price of the labor at the time, the state standard on your excavating operator. So that number's kind of fuzzy. But if you go to the next page, you'll see a further breakdown of zones, geographic zones that me and the directors work on. 4 Mile extensions, 6 Mile, 9 Mile, Ranger Bottom.
So Harlow's Fort has 32 customers.
Has 32 possible customers on its extension. It would require an extension of 21,147 foot. The cost per customer would be about $30,000. Total cost would be in the range of $2.7 million. Well, excuse me, that's for the entire 4 Mile extension. Excuse me. Yes, that'd be 4 Mile. You can break it down further. You just take that extension, the length of the extension.
It'd be about a third of it, 90 customers. That's 32 of them.
Correct. Yeah, that's why I put the length in there. You just take that length, multiply it by 50, and you got it right there. You know. about right.
Anyway, I know we put water, started at 4 Mile back in 96, 7, somewhere 8, somewhere early. Early on, when I came on the commission, they got the first grant.
Right.
Like a trial thing, but they haven't done anything since, and I know that's why you have people like the Runyons and others that are frustrated. I've had 2 or 3 calls. Why not finish 4 Mile when you go ahead and doing maybe 10 Mile, doing Route 37 and all that? And of course, it's all about money, and it's all about somebody deciding which projects are they going to do. They can't do, you know, one at a time, whatever, because of money and availability of money. But I think that the commission's concerned in putting this plan together, just try to identify where the areas are that are needed, and hopefully then we can start working to, that's what we did in the other plan, we'll start trying to get those eliminated by talking with the PSD and trying to get them to pick up some way to get them funded and seek funding. So let's go ahead with your shoot.
I forgot to give you all one thing. Part of the contract was to provide you all with all of the data. It's on this.
On that.
It's on this. It's small, but there's a lot on there. There's almost, I believe about 75 of what we call shape files. Shape files are opened by any mode mapping program that contain roads. There's line size data, hydrant data on there, various different. You really need a program to open it, but it's all the data's on there, as well as digital copies of all the reports you gentlemen and ladies have in front of you right now. So, is that right there? I was trying to think of a clever way to attach it to one of them folders. I decided drilling a hole in it, but I couldn't. I'm glad you mentioned the PSD is trying to secure funding. I got a request by West Ham. I went in front of the town council there and got some data from them. It's the first packet in there. It's the one held by one of these large ideal clips. I met with their engineer through Gail Robinson named Mark Gettigan, and he basically gave me data that they are already populated for West Ham. I'm not a professional engineer, gentlemen. I'm not even going to try to trump their project because theirs represents a room full of engineers, almost 6 months to compile. I had 6 weeks, and there's me. So I included that with the blessing of the West Ham Town Council. Something they requested is that they requested assistance from the Lincoln County Commission on something. They would like a letter supporting their small cities block grant. They have been denied for 3 years straight. And they are under the impression that a letter from the commission supporting this grant
What was the purpose of their grant?
to upgrade their water plant, upgrade their sewer system running along Route 3. They're having some issues with their water plant. The detailed report submitted by Gail Robinson contain pictures, they contain different data, they contain a lot of data. It's not the most current report, and that's why I submitted my own examination of it as well. But it's what they need help with. They are almost at capacity in their current sales, and they supply the entirety of Branchland Midco. They said if Branchland extended to 6 Mile and 9 Mile, they would be able to supply.